Hello. Good evening.
Hello. What about that? Our Northern Royal Albatross at Tarawa Head, New Zealand. Superb stuff. We were looking at it last week. We could be looking at that for weeks because the it's going to be incubating its single egg. But what did we say? I said 80 days.
Yeah, it's a long time, isn't it? But it is, energetically very costly, of course.
But for me, the highlight of watching this bird at this point in time, when there isn't a youngster to watch being fed, is there were two potential highlights. Secondly, is that the other adult will return, and if the other adult returns, then you get to see all of their display. But you may be watching some time, because sometimes they're away feeding for several days before they come back.
But wouldn't it be great to have it live though?
Oh, I know.
Maybe we should just keep going until we get it live.
Okay, be quiet and let's watch.
Sorry.
Okay.
Go on, have a little look.
No,
it's going to be a long old live stream, everyone.
It could be.
Hope you've got a flask and some food next to you.
For days. Other than that, of course, there were plenty of flybys. You see the other birds there. There were about, I think we said about 60 pairs at that site. And every now and again, you see one scudding through the background on those magnificent 3-metre plus wings. Last week, I was going on about slope storing last week and all that.
Yeah, how they lock in.
I love that tendon that locks.
Yeah, I really like that.
Stick their wing.
You like that? You're always saying that, aren't you?
Yeah.
But I'd quite like to just soar like that and just be able to relax my muscles and just go around.
Yeah, well, you've been relaxing your muscles most of the day.
I haven't.
Listen,
it's a Sunday.
Some of us are up at 6:45, thanks to the poodles, and out by 8 o'clock in the driving rain and mud.
Well, seems like a lot of people have also been out and about over the weekend. Lots of people saying hello as well. So lots of chat already going on over and on YouTube. We've got lots of hellos. We've got Tracy from North Lincolnshire. We've got Will from Welsh Marshes. We've got Leslie in London. Esther from the Cotswolds. Jim. We've got Debbie from Essex, Anne from Orkney, and Deanna from France, all joining in on the chat.
Excellent. Good evening to everyone. Good evening to everyone. Yeah. Thanks for giving up your rainy evening to us. Yeah, I mean, you'd much rather be outside. I would tell you wouldn't want to be outside.
Not today.
Pouring down.
But lots of people have been outside.
Well, I know, but I mean that's fine. I was outside. Yeah. I had the raincoat and the yeah.
What is that?
I'm wearing
it's Wild Otter Trust. Fantastic organisation that we're both affiliated with, do some amazing work rescuing otters, and it's a great hat. But I have never, ever seen you wear a baseball cap. It just doesn't happen. No, it's not in your, you got your bucket hat, but you're just not really a baseball cap wearer. So,
I'm wearing this for two reasons. One, we're about to show you some remarkable otter footage, and our guest, Iolo Williams, is going to be telling us an otter story. But also, because I've been out in the rain all day, my hair's a complete mess, and there's nothing I can do about it. So, look, hat on or off? What do you reckon?
You get away with it. You spiked it up a bit. Looks a bit better. You spiked it up.
Okay. Well, look, no disrespect to the Wild Otter Trust, which are a great charity. Check them out. We'll talk a bit more about them in a minute. But I'll go hat free then.
Go hat free. Risky.
Jill Lewis, his daughter.
Yeah, Georgie Lewis. Now they have been out, and I think they were out on a run, but they came across a really amazing sight, and this was posted on Twitter. Have a look at this. It is the most incredible clip.
It's great, isn't it?
Oh, I absolutely love it. I mean, imagine getting to encounter that.
Yeah. It's almost tempting me to go out on a run,
That's even funnier than the hat.
Listen. I've been out for a walk. The dogs do all the running. It's perfect.
Yeah.
But that's amazing, isn't it? In daylight. I remember that's on a mobile phone camera, so that otter must have been so close. I bet Georgie there could hardly breathe when that was happening.
So exciting seeing otters like that. When it's a surprise, even better, isn't it? When you're not expecting it.
Yeah.
But to be out on your run and to be able to see wildlife, capture it on your phone is fantastic. And I think so many people have enjoyed watching that clip because it's been shared so widely. So
I know.
But one amazing moment for someone. I mean, we'd all love to be in Georgie's shoes, wouldn't we? But it's sharing.
So here's the thing. Here's the thing, right? Because I'm obviously from the dark ages.
Right? Oh yeah.
But there were years, when we were out and about as naturalists, and we would see those sorts of things, and then we would get back and we would say, "You'll never guess what." And the people go,
No, it didn't happen.
No, it didn't happen. And you'd meet up with, people in nature reserve car parks. You say, no, I was just having a run, and all of a sudden this otter popped up. And they go, oh, come on, get out. Some people complain about contemporary technology interfering with young people engaging with nature and all that sort of stuff. But there are assets.
There are real benefits. It's an amazing community.
Can't argue with Georgie. She saw the otter.
No, exactly. And we all got to enjoy seeing it with her as well, which is really brilliant.
Whilst we're talking about Georgie, Jill Lewis, her mum, is an author of of course. And today I got my hands on a copy of her forthcoming book. Yeah.
Did you?
Yeah. Oh, yeah, it's good. I'm not sure I'm meant to talk about it or not yet. It's not out yet. It's not out yet, but I was given a copy by a friend of mine today.
A sneak peek.
Yeah, I can give you a sneak
peek. I like
peek
a sneak
later.
peek. Jill's book.
Jill's written loads of books, obviously, but Sky Dancer is the one.
Oh,
we've been sending Sky Dancer out into school. Sky Dancer is about a hen harrier, and it's been a great way of drawing young people's attention to the plight of these birds, which are still sadly cruelly persecuted in the UK.
Yeah, it's a really well illustrated, beautiful story.
Yeah.
About a relationship with this hen harrier. It's beautiful. It is absolutely beautiful, isn't it? So she has some amazing books.
New book coming soon. Anyway, what about our guest?
Well, yes, we have the one and only Iolo Williams coming on, who I believe might have had a bit of a cool encounter of his very own. So let's go over and say hi to Iolo. How are you? Oh, I think you're muted.
He's muted. That won't last long. Oh no!
Oh no! He's gone black. He's gone dark. What's happened there? Switched his camera around.
Okay.
We're getting there. Now his camera's off.
Oh, hang on. Is that better?
There
he is in all of his glory.
I'm rubbish with all this technology, and it's all been over Zoom, of course, and we're using Skype here. I haven't used Skype since about February this year, I think, something like that. But yes, I had a fantastic encounter with an otter just about 2 weeks ago. We were down in Pembrokeshire filming for a new series for BBC Wales, and we set up the hide, and we went into the hide at 4:30. And we didn't come out to the hide till midnight, and by that time it was about -2. So staying without moving virtually for 8 hours is not easy for me anyway. And it was absolutely freezing. But the fantastic thing was we had a wonderful view of a dog otter with an infrared camera, and I had a little screen, I could watch it. It went up the bank and it had like a slide there, so it slid back down into the river and then came back up and did exactly the same thing again. So yeah, it was fabulous. It was really, really cool encounter. And here's something I've been thinking about a lot. I reckon that otters originally wouldn't have been nocturnal animals. There's no reason for them to be nocturnal. I think it's a long history of persecution by man that's driven them into being nocturnal. And now that persecution is virtually non-existent, I think they're coming back out again in daylight like they used to.
Yeah, I think there's a very good chance you're right about that. The other thing they would have been, of course, is when they're on the coast, they would have been somewhat tidal, because they like foraging when the tide's out, sometimes along the shore in all of those rock pools, depending on where they are, of course. So they might have had some rhythms that were based around the tides. But when you think back to when we were kids, like I said earlier, the Dark Ages, they were all strictly nocturnal, weren't they, otters? You never heard of people seeing them in the daylight. So things have definitely changed.
Oh, yeah, very much so. I mean, big influence on my life was Tide, Grandad. He used to take me out, little boys, show me how to find nests, tickle fish with my hands, and he was dying to show me an otter. And the river near him, the Avon Sayont, had been a really good otter river, and we went out regularly, never saw an otter. I heard my first otter when I was about probably 23, 24, the chattering little whistles and what have you, but I didn't see an otter till I was about 27. So no, they were extremely scarce, very hard to see, unless of course you went up to Shetland or Mull, whatever it is. But now I'm so pleased that they're back on every major Welsh river, probably every English Welsh river by now as well.
What else have you been up to, Iolo, apart from stalking otters in the freezing night?
Oh, been out and about quite a bit. Been having some nice times actually. Spending quite a bit of time. Of course, it's back into lockdown and everything else. It was here anyway, but that meant I could spend quite a bit of time out and about walking. So quite a few polecats, oddly enough. They've been very active in and around this area, around some of the old farmyards, where there are plenty of rats in the woods, edge of the woods, where there are rabbits. I think in the last month, I think I've seen something like 3 or 4 polecats, which is very unusual. But I do like going out at night with an infrared, with a red light torch. It's fantastic. The things you see, just absolutely amazing. And just a few days ago, I had the pleasure of going down to the RSPB's Ham Wall Reserve down on the Somerset Levels, one of my favourite English reserves. It's just absolutely fantastic, and it was mind-blowing. It's amazing to arrive somewhere where great white egrets are more common than little egrets. You know, I was there for about 4 hours. I must have seen, well, upwards of a dozen great white egrets and only 2 little egrets. And it was, you know, around every corner, great white egret. And you know, Chris, when we were youngsters, when we were in our teens,
dark ages, you're like back in the dark ages,
before the Boer War, you know, a great white egret, wow, that would have brought out, you know, 5,000 twitchers. And now well, I wouldn't say they're 10 a penny, but if you go down to the levels, they're around every corner virtually. And the other thing that I did there was I watched the starling roost, and this was truly amazing. It was a fantastic show. It really was one of the best starling murmurations I have ever seen. How many birds? Easy 250,000 easily. It may well have been more than that, and it was an amazing show. And I need to apologise to the RSPB here, because I've learned since that they've been keeping people away because of COVID. Obviously, you can go there. There is a path there, but they're asking people, please don't go. I knew nothing of this at all, and I just went there. I filmed it. I put it on Twitter, and it's gone viral. And they're not best pleased with me, because they're now saying, please take it off. Don't put it on there, because we don't want people to come down. So for those people listening, enjoy the video, but please don't go down to Ham Wall because of COVID. It'll all be over soon, and hopefully we can all rush down there and enjoy this, you know, just an amazing show.
Yeah, it's a beautiful video. It's incredible.
Fantastic, yeah. I was rather envious to say. I haven't murmurated this winter.
No, we haven't. We were talking about this.
Yeah, we
recently.
were.
We were saying that we hadn't gone and murmurated.
There's a little murmur that occurs just quite close to us, but only with a handful of birds. We're talking about hundreds rather than thousands of birds, but they still go through the motions.
Yeah, cool.
And we should put ourselves out there locally. And that's a place where you can go, which is COVID safe. It's not. It's a massive, broad area. You can just stand out on flat land and socially distanced. So we could have a look at that on a nice evening. Not tonight.
Not tonight.
It's been gruesome here.
Oh, it's really dark.
You know, we were talking about Jill Lewis's Sky Dancer book, The Plight of the Hen Harrier. It's a bird obviously close to your heart. You had a fortune of growing up with them in the dark ages. I don't know. It's long before Megan. Not a bird that I know, to be honest with you. South of England, where I grew up, we never had them there. But you've been familiar with this species for many years. Yeah,
I've been very lucky to grow up just north of where I am now in mid Wales, in the Berwyn Mountains, and so you know, since I was about 8-9 years old, I've wandered the moors and watched hen harriers, and they're just incredible birds. And because of lockdown this year, I was able to spend a few more days than usual up on the moors, helping a good mate of mine, Keith Offord, up there. He does 99% of the work, and I get the odd day up with him. And we had a very good year on the patch that we monitor. We had 11 pairs in all. This is just one area. 3 failed, 8 successfully reared 24 young. So, you know, Welsh Harriers do pretty well on the whole. We get poor years, of course we do. Weather's a big issue for us here. But this year was a pretty good year over most of Wales. It's just, of course, that when they leave Wales here and then they head off to parts of Northern England and other parts of the UK, that's when they disappear, in inverted commas. But yeah, on the whole here in Wales, our harriers are actually doing really well.
But persecution's still a problem in some parts of the UK, as you mentioned. But show us your gruesome artefact, Iolo.
Yeah, this is something that goes back to my RSPB days. Look at that. This is something I confiscated, oddly enough, off a Welsh farmer in 1988. He'd released some peasants. He'd released those as well. He'd released some pheasants from a pen. And when I arrived there, this was hanging from a post there. It's a pole trap. And you can see, try and see how it kind of works is, you can see the teeth here. You can see the teeth here. This opens up, and this is then put on a perch. And let me see. Can I open it up? Yeah, here we go. Here we go. Look,
Nice.
that's how it opens up.
Oh.
That's how it opens up. You can see the teeth there. It's a vicious, cruel thing. It's hung on a post when it's set. There's a perch in the middle here that the bird lands on, and that causes the teeth to snap shut. And it'll hold the bird there until the farmer, the keeper, whatever it is, comes along and dispatches the bird. Now, they've been outlawed since 1904, but they've still been used. Not old ones. I mean, this is probably built in Victorian times, I think. They use fen traps now, which can be used legally if they're hidden out the way below bales or in a tunnel against things like rats. But we're still finding them put up on posts to catch birds of prey. So, yeah, it's barbaric, really, to think things haven't changed in the last 150 years, or not very much anyway.
Oh, it's terrible to think of an animal
Yes,
trapped in
isn't
that.
it?
You know, it's absolutely horrific, especially something like, you know, the hen harriers, the marto, all of that. I mean, it's just absolutely heartbreaking.
Terrible stuff. What's next then, Iolo? What we got plans for the next few days?
Well, I've just been down in the southwest filming for Winter Watch, so I'm looking forward to that. That'll be the last 2 weeks of January, of course, and it'll be the same format as ever. You two will be down in the New Forest. I'll be at the Centre for Alternative Technology. Michaela in Scotland, Gillian in Yorkshire. And other than that, hopefully a couple of days filming for this BBC Wales series down in Pembrokeshire. And oddly enough, we're hoping if there are enough birds to film a starling murmuration down there. And it's one that about 5 years ago had nearly 500,000 birds in it. And it's a pretty good winter for starlings from what I gather. I've seen 3 or 4 murmurations over the last 6 weeks or so, and fairly good numbers. So I'm hoping there'll be good numbers there for us to go down and film. And other than that, Chris, it's going to be pretty quiet then leading up to the new year. So a lot of time out in the field, a lot of time wildlife watching and bird watching.
A lot of people are asking, Iolo, leading perfectly on to the question that everyone's dying to know. How do you count a starling murmuration? How do you go about estimating that?
Oh, it's really difficult, Meg, and I leave it to the experts, the people who are out there all the time. I'll never forget going out with a chap called Colin Wells, who for 20 odd years was the RSPB warden on the Dee estuary, and we were counting pink-footed geese and knot. Now, knot do this murmuration very much like starlings do, and he turned to me and said, "Okay, how many knot are in there?" And I looked at it and I thought, "Oh, maybe 1,200." And he said, "No, it's about 2,500." And do you know what? We took a photograph, had it enlarged, and he was, well, I wouldn't say he was spot on, but he was only a few hundred out. So these people who are out there constantly counting these birds, they're incredibly accurate. So I just leave it to them. My maths in school was dreadful. You know, I've only got 10 fingers that I could use. So once I get beyond that, I struggle.
Yeah, I'm the same with you, Iolo. My math is absolutely awful. But yeah, trained eye then is what you need, a bit of experience.
Or technology, like Iolo says, you can take a photograph. And these days,
software,
there's what we call spot recognition software.
Cool.
So you can take a photograph, feed it into the computer, and it counts the number of spots or birds pretty accurately, actually.
And it can do species differences as well. So if there's different mix of species in a flock, you can tell which is which.
Yeah. And it deals with overlap and all that sort of stuff. So I think that would probably be the easiest way to do it. Employ the technology. Iolo, you're going to leave us with a quiz, I think.
Yes, I am. But something else I picked up at Hamwall is this. Now, it's a pellet with a foot sticking out of it. It's not a difficult one because I put this on Twitter as well. But for those of you who don't tweet, my 2 questions really. First of all, whose pellet is that? Which bird produced that pellet? And secondly, whose foot is that? Poor bird in there. But that's amazing. I found that in one of the hides in Hamwall, and it was like a lolly. You know, you could pick it up by that bird's foot and lick the pellet if you were so inclined.
I hope you did it. I mean, I know that's exactly what Chris would do, Iolo, but I hope you...
No. Believe me, I'll eat virtually anything, but no. I wasn't going to lick that. No way.
I'm glad to hear it.
Yeah, I find they get stuck in your teeth if you try it.
Right.
Yeah, the little bit sort of sinewy, I find.
Yeah, that's right.
Both as bad as each other, you two.
Iolo, thanks ever so much for coming on. Really good to hear and see you, and good to look forward to seeing you for Winter Watch. Well, and we, of course, we'll only be seeing each other through the screen. There won't be any sort of, muttering behind the porter cabin about birds of yesteryear.
No, talking about the good old days, Chris. Talking about the good old days. Thanks for allowing me back on, and just Merry Christmas to everyone who's watching. I know it's a few weeks away, but have a fantastic Christmas, and let's hope 2021 is better than 2020.
Indeed.
Fingers crossed.
We'll second that.
Merry Christmas, Iolo.
See you, Iolo.
We'll speak
Cheers.
soon.
Bye.
Take care, both. Thank you very much. Bye-bye.
Top bloke.
Oh, I love him. He's brilliant.
I know. It's a brilliant naturalist as well.
Yeah.
That's what I like about him.
Yeah.
He's done what he's done all the
knowledge.
time in the field. Like you said,
Yeah.
from the time he was a kid, he was up on those moors,
He's an incredible
Skulking about.
conservationist.
picking up pellets. So if you think you know which pellet that is, do let us know.
Yeah.
And we'll see who's guessed right at the end.
Whose foot and whose pellet?
Whose
that is the
foot,
question.
Whose pellet?
It is a bit like it does kind of look like some kind of dinosaur leg, doesn't
I
it?
love that pellet.
A dinosaur drumstick almost.
Do you know what?
It's just-
I wish that was in my collection.
Do you?
Yeah, I'd love
I
that.
think Iolo left it, didn't
He
he?
left
you could
it.
nip up there.
I might be nipping down. There are
You
people
are.
you don't want people to visit.
No, COVID as well.
I'm tempted to nip back and try and find that
But
pellet.
just send them a
myself.
letter, see if they'll send it to you in the post.
Look at it. It's a beauty, isn't it? I'd get that framed and have it on the wall.
Yeah, it is a good one. Now, anyways, if you think you know what that is, put it in the comments and we'll get back to that at the end. But from one fantastic conservationist to another, many of you might know Rebecca or Becca's Butterfly Farm on social media. And she is so enthusiastic and so knowledgeable about butterflies. She has done a roundup of this year, everything that she's been up to and the things that she's seen. So let's hear from Becca.
Hi Chris and Megan, I've had a brilliant butterfly year this year. I've released holly blues, green veined whites. He's on my head. Peacocks, commas, and small tortoise shells. My highlights have been watching the peacock caterpillar peel off its skin to reveal the chrysalis, seeing the large white lay eggs, and watching the caterpillars hatch out. I also found 2 comma caterpillars on the nettles as well. Over winter I'll be looking after orange tips, large whites and a holly blue, all as chrysalis. They should be hatching out next year, in spring or summer. Sadly, this year's big butterfly count has showed the lowest numbers recorded in 11 years. It would be great if everyone could do what they can to help butterflies and bring their numbers back up again. So together we can help make next year a better butterfly year. That's it for now, bye!
So sweet. I love it.
I
I love Becca.
all the contact. I love it.
Yeah.
My favourite bit was the holly blue. Such a stunning butterfly.
Mm.
But when you're, at any age, actually, I was going to say when you're young, but at any age, when you get a creature like that on your hand in contact with you, and you're looking at it and you think, can I feel it? It's so small. Can I actually feel that on my finger? Can I feel its little feet? Sometimes you can. Certainly with the heavier butterflies, you can feel them.
Definitely.
And feeling a little, butterfly walking across your hand is inspirational. The sort of thing that, has clearly lit a spark for Becca that's going to burn for a lifetime. Her passion for these insects is never going to be dulled. And that's that contact with wildlife, I think sometimes that's so important to establish for young people. Because if they can touch it and feel it and get scratched and stung and bitten by it, well,
my childhood in a nutshell.
It's
Put your finger in there.
Yeah, go on.
Go on, stick your nose in it.
Yeah, see how hard that bites. It's those sort of things that are really formative experiences. Anyway, we're on to our soapbox now, aren't we? And today, this week, we're going to do a good news story. And I'm just going to read the headline from one of the UK's papers from this week. Largest ever fine for wildlife crime handed down by court after bat roost destroyed. The largest ever fine was £600 £1,000.
A lot
that
of money.
is a lot of money.
And that's a real kind of significant consequence, isn't it?
It was wrought upon a house building firm after it carried out demolition work at a site known to be inhabited by protected bats. So the site was known by bat workers. The bats were soprano pipistrelles, and they were definitely there the previous year, the police had said. This was in Greenwich in London. But between the 17th of March and 17th of August in 2018, the buildings were destroyed. And the company was fined £600,000, had to pay costs of £30,000, and voluntarily, I have to say, voluntarily agreed to make a donation of £20,000 to the Bat Conservation Trust, a body that does all it can to raise awareness of the fact that these animals are firstly fascinating, so beautiful, but also a good indicator species of community health and ecological health, but also rare and therefore protected. But I just want to draw attention to one other thing here, because I think credit where credit's due is always part of my mantra. The Metropolitan Police said the fine was the largest ever issued by a court in relation to a wildlife crime, and Inspector David Hortin praised officers Sergeant Simon Henderson and Police Constable Giles Balestrini for their roles in this complex investigation. So there we are. David, Simon and Giles, thank you very much. It's through your diligent hard work that this fine has been passed on to this company, and greater awareness of the plight of these creatures will be established. And clearly a fine of that size is sending out a clear message to other developers: don't mess with bat roosts, because if you get diligent police officers like these gentlemen here, then you could end up with more than £500,000.
It's good. It's really good because these issues are significant. Lots of things are in decline. Bats are massively in decline. We need to be able to protecting as much as we can. And with new developments popping up seemingly everywhere, we need to really think about those developments carefully. And sending a message like that and getting people to think twice about what they're doing, whether you're putting swift boxes in, bat roosts, everything. We need to be incredibly careful. And that, for me, is a real step forward, because one of the big issues is that when you get caught, it's hard enough to catch wildlife crime, because often it is out in the middle of nowhere. But when it is caught, there are often not many fines given. There's no penalties as such. So to see something like that is really encouraging.
They're not named there, actually, but we ought to also thank the judge in this case, because very often, as Megan says, it's the judiciary that is the last thing. People are caught, the evidence is presented, they're judged. If they're found to be guilty, very often the punishment doesn't fit the crime. We see this very often with rap to persecution, all sorts of things.
Constant.
But here, clearly, the judge or judges on the case have seen the gravity of this crime and wanted to send out a clear message to the developers, not just the company that were fined, but the other companies too. Top work from the police and the judiciary. We like that. We like that very much. We do. Okay, why am I wearing one of your tops? Not only have I come wearing a baseball cap, albeit for the fabulous Wild Otter Trust, but I'm now also wearing one of your tops, which you insisted that I wear.
I am. It's a bit tight for you.
It is a little bit tight.
But it's because you've come unprepared.
I didn't know.
You came unprepared,
Look,
honestly.
So apparently it's Christmas jumper day.
Wow. Well, it's from Marion Ville, who on our SIBC Facebook group notified us all that it was Christmas jumper day, which is the best day of the year, the best time where you can get out the most ridiculous jumpers that are, tinsel and baubles and bells and whatever else you want to stick on it. You can get away with wearing it.
I've got some ghastly ones at home. If only I'd known, I could have bought one of my... You've seen them.
I have. They are absolutely horrendous. So lots of people joined in today posting their own Christmas jumpers. Have a look at this. We've created a little montage of everybody wearing them. Have a look at this. I love this. Everyone's looking so good.
Oh, I like that one.
That's a good one.
See, I like that one.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yes.
T-Rex. What does that say? Have a rawsome Christmas.
Yeah.
Oh, come on. Do you know what?
The baubles on the beard.
Yes,
they
it's
are,
a thing. You can get baubles on the beard. I've got all those wildlife in the shape of a Christmas tree. Oh, look. Everyone having such a nice time.
Yeah, I know, but they're treating it like it's Christmas already.
It's only a couple of weeks away, isn't it?
Oh, look.
Oh, fox, I like
fox,
that one.
That one, yeah.
That's a smart looking fox as well, isn't it?
Very good.
There we are, there's Marion.
Matching.
Yeah. There we go, an elf. I like a bit of an elf. Last Christmas, you made me dress up as an elf.
I did.
You did. I had to dress up as an elf. I thought, so we went on this bus and we were campaigning against HS2, and I was told that everybody would be dressed up in kind of Christmas gear. I turn up there, he's dressed as Santa Claus. I have the most horrific elf costume ever, and we have to walk around London like that, and no one else is dressed up. But anyway, enough about that. I still be in my bonnet about it. So we have also got Christmas jumpers.
We were on a bus and we went around and we were handing out train sets.
It was good.
I'm going to
show my one because this is really cool. I love sharks, so have a Jawsome Christmas.
It's pretty good.
Oh, Santa Jaws is coming to town, and yours says a whale in a manger. Now these jumpers were actually produced by a friend of mine at Love the Oceans. My friend Fran is a fantastic conservationist. She runs a charity in Mozambique to highlight kind of the issues surrounding marine conservation, and she's done these amazing jumpers, and there's lots of different ones on the Love the Oceans website. And I've got 2 of them, and you didn't have one. So.
It turned into QVC again, wasn't it? We were having a week off of not flogging anything at all, and now you know.
Well, just if anybody wants,
I'm just a clothes horse for your. I'm a clothes horse for your friend's design. Yeah. That's what I've just been, you know.
Oh, if you Christmas jumper with a whale and a shark on it, it's quite cool.
Yeah.
But that's a great collection though. I love it.
Just have a look. See what I've got underneath.
What have you got?
It's okay. No, it's okay. It's okay.
Inside of Jumper's jumper.
Yeah, I just sort of thought, better be careful before I take it off. But I've got Star Wars. There's an AT-AT being taken for a walk, look, by a stormtrooper.
Anyway.
Yeah, that's right. I thought I might have had a poodle T-shirt on or something like that. You know.
Anyway, shall we move on?
Yeah.
Paul Hartley, of course, is the most fantastic illustrator, isn't he? He does those beautiful bird designs, and he's joined us many times on SIBC, and we featured his work and gently referenced birds ourselves. And he has run a competition called Birds Can Fly. It's been a fantastic competition, and he's here now to announce the winner. So here is Paul Hartley.
This is a very special video because I'm about to reveal the winner of my Birds Can Fly competition. So now, to the exciting bit. I've been so lucky to get so many brilliant entries. I just love them all. Reuse Blue Siberian Robin, so beautifully painted. Look at his face. Alexander's great crested grebe was a very close second. I love Benjamin's osprey with the wings. And Dylan's use of wooden spoons. Genius. Apparently this is Ruben's first completed piece of work. I love the geometry of that peacock. And I love the seriousness in the faces of these kids who are really channeling the bird. Jude is just 2. And this spinny fixed pigeon by Elsie is amazing. So great. Wasn't that nice? Very grateful to all of you for entering. But there does have to be a winner. Oh, but there is a special guest bringing the winning envelope. I'm just going to have a look to see if they're here yet. Can you see? Yeah, they're on their way. I don't normally let my special guest in the house, but I've opened a window. Come in, Kieran. Thank you. The winner is... Drumroll. The winner is Elsie, aged 9. Elsie's commitment to the bird was amazing. I love the use of bananas. I just absolutely love it. Everything about it is just so charming. So thank you, Elsie, and your family for helping you. You have to now let me know which bird you'd like me to draw. So thank you so much. It really has been such a treat to do this. Bye-bye.
Top bloke.
So good.
So good, isn't he? And that
So
was brilliant.
good.
And what about all those entries? They were superb, weren't they?
It was brilliant. The amount of entries he got and the creativity of everybody who participated was just
Congratulations to the winner as well. Spin Effects Pigeon with bananas.
It was good. There were some really good ones in there. Do you know, there was one in there that points me my favourite fact.
Yeah, go on.
Do you know what it's going to be?
Go on.
So the photograph of the spoonbill, gently referenced spoonbill, and I loved it because the young man in there put a sheet over his head and put serving spoons in his mouth. But here's my favourite spoonbill fact.
Yeah.
And I've said this before on SIBC, but I'll say it again, and I'll probably say it in the future.
Probably say it again.
And I'll say it, going forward. What do you call a baby spoonbill? Go on.
A teaspoon.
A teaspoon.
A teaspoon.
A teaspoon.
Is that official though?
I don't know, but it's a.
If we were to go on to All About Birds that provide us with those beautiful images of the Northern Royal Albatross from the Cornell Institute.
Yeah. We have live albatross
Hold
pair.
on. Oh my
Individuals
goodness me!
returned. We might. Oh, go on.
Go on.
So, just been notified that the second adult has come in. We might.
Well, hold on. Is it
potentially
presumably
the pair?
it's the pair?
I presume so, because otherwise it wouldn't be getting quite so close without fuss.
Oh no! Look, it's coming in.
Let's see what happens. Could be.
Who'd have thought?
We.
Could be watching for days. Oh! Look! They're billing. Now are they going to stand up and dance? Come on, stand up and dance.
Come on.
Take a little break. Look! You can imagine that.
Bit.
Oh look! They're all chattering.
Oh, what a beautiful
Go on.
play.
Can't tell the sexes apart, so I can't tell you which one's the male and the female at this point, because they share the incubation duties. But come on, get up and dance. That lazy bird doing the incubating. Come on.
A bit of preening going
I think they
on.
might have known, these birds could have known each other for like 30, 40 years. We
it's
have
incredible,
no
isn't it?
idea how old they are, but they live such a long time. They could. Oh, here we go.
Wings.
Oh no.
Bit of a stretch.
The one that's sitting down doesn't seem to want to join in.
No, not quite going for it.
Oh no, honestly.
But it's still amazing to see that kind of interaction there.
Yeah.
All coming towards the camera. We did say, didn't we? It would be great to have the pair coming on.
Yeah, I did want the dancing.
And now
though.
look. I mean, it's still pretty good, isn't it?
It's pretty good.
Oh, stretch your wings. Go on.
Go on, you know you want to.
Go on. Go on.
Yeah.
Yes!
That was a false takeoff, I think. You can see that it's.
Yeah,
yes. Do you know what? I don't think that was the pair.
No, I don't think it was.
I think that was probably an unrelated bird that landed close to that one, had a little bit of an altercation.
Yeah.
A mild altercation. Flirted.
Had a bit of it.
With a
How's
bit
it going?
Bill.
How's your incubation going?
Yeah, bill clattering.
Yeah.
And then obviously you can see the wind, riffling.
Yeah.
Riffling the grass there, and then it took off into the wind when there was a gust. What a scene though! Look at that! Look at the clouds and the blue sea.
It was great.
Oh,
that was very nice. That was very exciting.
Yeah,
that was very exciting.
Was very good indeed.
Now, a little while ago, we said we wanted to hear your back to nature stories, and we wanted to know how you were getting out and connecting with wildlife and how you were getting back to nature yourself. So many people tweeted us and used our hashtag back to nature, and we've got some great stories. So we just wanted to share a few of those with you. This is one from Karen Stapley of a bumblebee.
Oh.
Look how beautiful. The colours are stunning, aren't they?
It's pretty good, isn't it?
Yeah.
Because
nice.
the yellow of the bee matches presumably the anthers within the flower, and the petals of the flower frame the bee perfectly, and it's covered in pollen.
It's great, isn't it?
Yeah, I quite like that
photo.
one. That's good.
Yeah. This next one is from Ron Roberts, a photograph of a grass snake. Ooh.
God, they're one of the best, aren't they?
I love grass snakes.
Look at it. It's a bit frowny, that one, though.
It is. I love that in the water they're just something else, aren't they?
Yeah. Well, they will feed beneath the water. They can swallow fish beneath the water without drowning. I can't do that.
No, I've seen you try in the bath many times with your vegan sausage roll.
Yeah, my vegan sausage roll submerged in the bath.
You hear that, you often hear it when you're downstairs, Chris just flailing around.
Yeah, trying to perform the similar antics to a grass snake. Who else have we got?
Oh, we've got Mark Grove coming up next, who has got a video of us of a kingfisher having a bit of a waddle, like a penguin.
Yes, yes. Well, they have got very short legs and small feet, haven't they?
Yeah.
Because they don't,
very sweet.
Obviously don't use them for anything but perching. I know that sounds ridiculous, but many birds use their...
Well, sometimes when you see owls and stuff, they've got very long legs. Owls,
yeah, of course. But
because they need them for hunting.
Killing.
Yeah.
But not the kingfisher.
Not the kingfisher. Uses its bill, dives head first in, doesn't need long legs. But that's a great little clip. So lots of people getting back to nature. If you've been getting back to nature, remember to tweet us, Facebook us, whatever, and use the hashtag back to nature, and we'll be sure to see those as well.
Okay. So now, what about the quiz?
The quiz.
Yeah.
Iolo's quiz that he had for us. Let's have a look at the picture one more time. We asked you to let us know what you thought about whose pellet this could be, and also whose foot it is. That is the question. Okay. The very big question.
It is a very, very big question.
I'm just waiting for some answers to come through. I'm not quite sure if they haven't come through yet. Oh, we've got Michelle, we've got Simon and Danny, who I believe have got it right. So well done to the three of you. So that's good. I've got both questions right. So they were able to work out whose pellet and whose foot it was.
Yeah.
Which was the tricky thing. So 2 bonus points. Mandy got whose foot correct.
Right.
Mandy's got whose foot correct. And as they come through, I'll keep reading them out. But Chris, do you want to...
Should we read the answer? So this is the pellet of a barn owl, and the foot that's inside it won't surprise you, is that of a starling. Which has no doubt been plucked out of its roost after murmurating. So it murmurated its last.
Oh,
Sorry about that. So how do we know that? Well, firstly, if you look at the pellet itself, although it's just a photograph, you can see that it doesn't have a fluffy surface. It's got essentially a smooth surface. It's as if it's coated in a black film. I know that bones are poking through it, and you can see tufts of feathers and maybe fur there as well. But many birds of prey, when they produce their pellets, when they dry out, they go hairy. But the barn owl doesn't. It often has a smooth black surface over much of the pellet. And of course, the size and shape tell you that it's a barn owl pellet as too. And then the starling's foot, well, again, very characteristic, different from the kingfisher, of course. Yeah. Long leg, it's a walking bird, finds its food by walking across the grassland where it does its open beak probing. And so therefore it's got those long toes and long claws to help it walk effectively. So starling. And when I remember years ago we were at Leighton Moss, where there's a small murmuration that takes place.
Great place.
Great place. Yeah. And there was a barn owl there that was going in after dark and plucking the starlings out of the roost.
Very cool.
Top work. Anyone else get it right or not?
We have Dave G, who I believe also got the barn owl bit right. So yes, well done to anyone who got that. It was a tricky one. That
was tricky.
It was a tricky one.
It was a very beautiful pellet.
Yeah, gorgeous. We'd like to have that in your collection. Yeah. So on to birthdays. I want to wish everyone a very happy birthday. We've got Carol Platt. It was her birthday on the 18th of December. Love the photos of the fox and the turnstone she sent too. We've got Harriet wanted to say a happy birthday to her mum, Angela. Her birthday was on the 8th of December. Angela is a tireless campaigner and protector for wildlife. So thank you so much, Angela, for all that you do. We really wish you a very, very happy birthday. Amanda wanted to say happy birthday to her son, Aaron. It was his birthday yesterday. Aaron is a very big fan of SIBC and the wildlife cameras from Wildlife Kate. They've also created a pond during lockdown. Well, I hope that's been lots of biodiversity has been coming into your garden from that pond. I'm sure it has been. And very happy birthday to you, Aaron. Sean would also like to say happy birthday to his wife, Helen Farrow. She loves the show and has worked through lockdown in a care home. Nature and SIBC videos have really helped her. Well, thank you so much, Karen, for all that you do, you know, working as an NHS carer in the care homes and, you know, all the key workers for absolutely phenomenal work. We are forever indebted to you and everything that you've been through this year. So thank you very much, and we hope you had a fantastic birthday.
Excellent stuff. Happy birthday to all of you. Just before we conclude, Simon Watts has said that so Simon Watts of Wild Presentations UK had some pellet soup going this afternoon. Stunning skulls, 12 bankvole, 5 wood mouse. Because what you can do, although it's not, I will tell you now, it's not popular with your parents, is that you can collect the
It's
pellets.
popular with you.
Yeah.
You liked it.
You put them in a saucepan and you gently warm the water and you stir it gently until all of the fur and feathers part ways from the bones, which then fall to the bottom of the surface of the saucepan, and you get like a thick felty mat of feathers and fur across the top of the saucepan. It does have a characteristic, that's a nice way of saying it, a characteristic aroma. The one problem I will say is that if you do that, you don't know which pellet which skull came from, unless you were to do one pellet at a time in a saucepan, which would be time consuming.
Yeah.
So I did boil some pellets a few times, and it did make a characteristic smell in the house, and it wasn't very popular because I used, obviously we only had enough spare saucepans when I was a kid. We just had the ones we were cooking potatoes in.
Your mum must have been
Later.
so happy with you.
But what I used then got to do was I used to then dry my pellets out. So I would collect my pellets and I would leave them out on newspaper in my bedroom over a period of time so that they would dry out. And if some of them were still a little bit sticky, because obviously when the birds regurgitate them, they're very moist and sticky. And when you're dissecting them, then you get like black stuff all over your fingers. You know, it's not bad. It's just black stuff on your fingers. But then what I used to do was put them under the grill, low setting, and another characteristic smell is produced at that point.
I can see.
This makes your pellets crispy.
Granddad's reaction.
This is your crispy pellets, right? And then you can break them open without any of the black guns on your fingers, and you can find out which skull is in which individual pellet there. So a couple of top tips there. One from Simon Watt's Wild Presentations, if you want to do a bit of boiling with your pellets, or you can do a bit of grilling.
It's a Christmas activity for the kids, isn't it?
I'll tell you something. There's more likelihood of me grilling some pellets on Christmas Day than there is putting anything else in the oven.
I know there is, because last time you cooked Christmas dinner, it was an absolute disaster. The potatoes, you've got frozen bought potatoes, you put them in the oven, they still came out frozen. It was the last time I ever let him cook, I think. I
went to so much trouble to make that Christmas dinner. I mean,
it was still partially frozen. It was a very nice effort. This is why we take over in the kitchen, Charlotte and I. But it was okay. It was a good effort.
Take over. You make a ghastly mess. Absolutely.
But then you have like heated through food to eat, so it's all pros and cons.
Okay, so we better wrap this up because I don't want anyone else knowing about my frozen potatoes. Tip of the iceberg, if you'll forgive the pun. So what have we got to say? Yeah, basically, look, lots of people are watching us on YouTube now, but not subscribing. If you do subscribe, it does help us monitor the analytics, etc.
Yeah.
It means that we can stay in touch with you and let you know exactly what we're going to be doing. And in the new year, we've got great plans for SIBC with new technology, which we're going to invest in.
Yes.
We've sold all of the calendars.
Yes.
Thank
you very much.
Thank you very much indeed. I hope you enjoy those for all 12 months of next year. There are a few Christmas cards left if you'd like some Christmas cards. It's got to act, better be quick there, otherwise it'll be Christmas. Mind you, I would still send them in January. It doesn't matter anyway,
Yeah.
No, it's fine. And then, of course, if you're thinking of any last-minute Christmas presents, you can maybe think about reading a book over Christmas. I don't know. This one's all right.
This one's okay.
Yeah. It's okay.
It was all right. Bit of stuff about animals in there.
Yeah,
it's all right.
It's quite good.
Yeah.
It's available at all respectable retailers.
Yeah.
And some unrespectable retailers, I hope, as well.
But as you are out about and exploring, we would love to get your submissions in, and you can keep in contact with us. Send in your videos, your pictures, anything that you get up to, any kind of activities that do that involves the environment, wildlife, or just kind of
pellet recipes. Welcome.
Pellet recipes, always good. And you can send those in to us at submissions@sibird.club. And if you have a birthday, then make sure you email us at birthdays@sibird.club.
Yep. Now, next Sunday is the 20th of December, and we won't be broadcasting on the 20th of December because we've got a special treat for you. A little present for Christmas Day. Yes. An SIBC Christmas special. Our bells will be jingling. Our trees will be glistening.
Yes.
And, someone
will be barking.
Someone will have a red nose if they go on about my frozen potatoes any longer. And it won't be Rudolph. So no broadcast next Sunday, but on Christmas Day we'll be there with an SIBC Christmas special,
yes,
and I'll get one of my own jumpers out for that.
Yeah. Oh dear, that is going to be a special broadcast.
Yeah.
So we will
don't
see
adjust your sets.
we will see you all on Christmas Day. But until then, have a fantastic time. Enjoy the lead up to Christmas. I hope you snuggle up on the sofa, watch some great Christmas films.
Yeah.
You know, get out and about and enjoy nature safely, of course, as well. So until then, we will see you very soon.
Yeah, we'll leave you with a Royal Albatross at Tyro ahead.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.